Wagwan viewers and subscribers, how you guys doing, man? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Fire Feeling Clips TV. Hope you guys doing fine. Do the right thing before the right thing, do no? And make sure you give the video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button and put your post notification bell on so we could build the community. You understand? Anyway, it seems like allegedly Miss Susan Rodriguez, are we talking about the Minister of Tourism, once was the Minister of Home Affairs. Is it that? Or housing, sorry. Of housing, yes. Seems like she was rushed to the hospital. Now we don't know how true it is, but we have a sister in here to come to spill the tea about this whole situation here. And it's kind of sticky. What? I can't believe this. Yeah? Let me listen and hear what this sister really got to say.
Minister Susan Rodriguez admitted to the psychiatric unit PHG and is being treated for manic depression.
News, guys. Some breaking news. This Minister Susan Rodriguez, the Minister of Tourism, guys, either she these catch up with she, either somebody juju she or obi she or something. But I understand that earlier today she was rushed to the Georgetown Hospital psychiatric ward. And she's been treated there. Let me give you all the news. Hot off the press, guys. Hot off the press. It says that the Minister of Tourism, Susan Rodriguez, they said she ranked the most corrupt junior officers in the government. He said this afternoon she was reportedly rushed to the psychiatric ward at the Georgetown Hospital. The staff at the Ministry of Tourism where she works said that she arrived at work earlier today and appeared to be confused and was demonstrating signs of bipolarism.
Now, first thing first, right? This is what I want to know. Of all the hospital as a minister, you're going to run to Georgetown Hospital. You're not going to go to a private hospital, or government official is only allowed to go to Georgetown Hospital. You can't go to a private hospital. Let me know in the comment section, because knowing that, you know what I mean, y'all name that, you know what I mean, you the attention I'm talking about. Knowing that you're looking for attention, because you know if you go to Georgetown Hospital, obviously people gonna talk. Even if you go to a private, but you're more safe for private. When I say private don't mean is you alone is daddy private, but us saying that instead of public, you're gonna go private. You know, but it is what it is. Let me continue.
And attempted to jump out of the third floor window at the office building. Psychiatrist at the facility made no comment. They made no comment. But they, however, confirmed that.
Well, on. Say, driver tell me Susan try to jump through the third floor window. So what scunt is this? I want him this. Yo, anybody walking at Georgetown Hospital when Susan rolling, comment under this video. Let me know if this is true. Because yo, now everything on the internet is real, you know. I telling you. And despite how every PPP getting whip or whatever, you know, I don't rejoice just so dry. I want to know where we should get this article from, that I could ever see it.
Rodriguez has been admitted to the behavioral science intensive care unit. They disclosed that she's being treated for acute manic depression and is on suicide watch. So it's what's going on with the minister, guys. Anybody could tell me she get wife problems, she get woman problems, or she catching up with she. This is the news. So you see, it don't pay to do wrong to people because you don't know what this be you lot. What could be happening to you in the future, guys. But this is the news. Guys, pray for the minister that she get over this manic manic behavior soon and can go back to her duties. I sincerely pray that happens, guys. Sincerely pray that this manic episode that she's experiencing, that it will be resolved quickly and she get the best care possible that she requires. to get well.
Yo, you see, laughing at people down fart is something that I don't really do, no. I don't laugh at people down fart, and I don't know where is the situation. If this is credible news or this is credible information that this happened to Miss Susan, and I hope that she gets she gets sorted out if this is credible, if this is real. I still want to know what article or which news papers this article came out in. But mental health is a serious thing. A lot of persons is look like them good, but them crazy up here, son. Enough people is look like they're good, yeah, but they crazy up here. It's just that you don't see them when they tripping or when them going into the depression mood or the low mood. I tell you, we need better facilities to deal with these situations. Real thing. We need better facility. Yo, they got so much important thing the country need to be deal with, and I wondering to myself, I know it's going like it's crazy. But if you guys believe that, if this is credible to you, just let me know in the comment section. You know what I mean? Because you guys know how the thing go already. You understand?
Guyanese brothers and sisters, both at home and in the diaspora. Ever since 2024 February, when Eternity Enterprise would have caught wind of the fact that the People's Progressive Party Civic / One Guyana government would have been moving very discriminatorily with the Guyana Teachers Union, and by extension all the teachers across the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, in their failure to acknowledge and implement collective bargaining, which is constitutionally afforded to all workers in the Cooperative Republic, we could have already seen impulses of dictatorship in the People's Progressive Party Civic, of which Eternity Enterprise did several videos where we hinted that if the Guyanese people do not stand up for their rights, we are leading on a dictatorship. Now, this news article is today's news, the 31st of December 2025, from News Source Guyana. Now, pay attention as I read you what is reported. President Ifran Ali, in the absence of the leader of the opposition today, administered the oath to serve to 7 members of the Teaching Service Commission. The Constitution of Guyana stipulates that the commission be made up of 7 members, with 3 of those members to be appointed by the president after meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition. However, Guyana has been without an opposition leader since the convening of the 13th Parliament in November, as the Speaker has refused to set a date for a meeting with the opposition members to elect a leader of the opposition. In his address to the newly appointed commissioners, the President did not address this issue. However, on the sidelines of the event, he told reporters that it was important for him to appoint the commission even without consultations with the leader of the opposition, as it is required by the Constitution. Can you imagine the president who's moving unconstitutional, speaking about the Constitution? I want you guys to pay attention to these little lapses, because it is these lapses that clearly show us that these people are playing politics and playing pseudo word games and mind tricks on us. It is an important constitutional responsibility that has to be executed. Like, I'm guessing that appointing the leader of the opposition, to which get assent to these decisions being made, isn't an important constitutional responsibility. But let's continue. The minister came to me and explained the importance of the system itself, and I don't want a new term to start without having the commission in place to make important decisions that would allow the quality of teaching to improve.
They doing them doing this willfully, Yeah, man, it's willfully them they're doing this, bro. This willfully. He said his speaker, he put his speaker under the bus. The president put his speaker under the bus and started demanding the man willfully want to make a date. Or make a date for putting Azudin Mohammed. Because Azudin Mohammed is the man that they got for put as the opposition leader. But they're just going around, coming around, going around. They know they want to put him on by. You understand? I mean, no by. Well, I think Arjun should have put somebody else that could have get it and he hold on. Instead of got this thing holding up like this. Let me know in the comment section.
And also allow more opportunities to be given to our teachers, the president said. President Ali, you don't care anything about the teachers. The mere fact that in 2024 you guys had the teachers home for 75 days for a livable wage, of which you guys forced a 10% on us, which was against what our memorandum agreement for the 4 years had asked for, that you guys ignored the teachers' plight of the low salaries that moving them to the breadline. You don't care about the teacher. The fact that your government kept the children home for that 75 days as well, it shows that you don't care about the children education, President Ali. He said whenever an opposition leader is elected as the president, he will fulfill his constitutional responsibilities, but made it clear that with or without an opposition leader, the work of the government must continue. Now here's the thing, brothers and sisters. Government is supposed to be made up of both sitting government and opposition. Parliament is supposed to be made up of 65 ministers and opposition parties. So the fact that the opposition leader is not appointed and has not been sworn in, it clearly shows that Parliament in itself is right now functioning unconstitutionally, since this is not the way a democracy is supposed to be run. A Partnership for National Unity APNU Member of Parliament Ganesh Maipal in a statement said the coalition had long warned that in the absence of an opposition leader, the president will move to make unilateral appointments in clear breach of constitution. This is precisely the kind of constitutional erosion we in the APNU have been warning about. A maturing dictatorship is unfolding before our eyes, fed and sustained by none other than President Ifran Ali, MP Maipal said. Now, it's rich to me that same President Ali that is right now moving unconstitutional and discriminatorily with the opposition was saying that President David Arthur Granger was a dictator and that they had a dictator in Parliament. When the teachers did not have to strike for 75 days under the APNU government. As a matter of fact, less than 3 weeks, and the APNU government acceded and gave to the Public Service Union one of the largest salary increases they would have seen ever since the 90s, when the Armstrong Arbitration Tribunal had to be signed for the public service work to be counted. Now, what is important, brothers and sisters, because it's a long read, I would advise that you guys read it. Back in 2003, when the Public Service Commission was appointed, the then opposition leader, Mr. R.B. Norton, would have raised concerns about 2 of the appointees made by President Ali, stating that these 2 appointees would have been partisan. One, Mistress Melisita Bovell and Mistress Leela Ramson, both of whom the leader of the opposition at the time would have been saying that they were partisan and had made partisan decision on behalf of the PPP. Now, brothers and sisters, this is what I want to know. We don't have any opposition to speak up on behalf of the people of this country, at least to proportionally represent for the people that are against the governance, the dictatorship, autocratic governance of the PPP. And also, don't we have other bodies that are supposed to weigh in on these decisions? I mean, if a teaching service commission is to represent the teachers, shouldn't the teachers have a say? Shouldn't the Guyana Teachers Union have a say in these appointments of these appointees that the
all them get buyout. All them is soup drinkers. You see, in this life, a lot of person frigging for hold it on their own and on. And there's one thing I thank myself with, that I could hold it out. However it is. But remember, not everybody gonna be like that. So when you're looking forward to see certain people who they're in position to be speaking, like he said, the teachers union and you're hearing on from these people, Obviously, they drinking soup too.
President would have sworn in today. Now, it is a beautiful time for politics because of media and because of the scope that technology brings right now in terms of giving the people the freedom to go and check and backdate information that would have been placed in the public domain by the president of the cooperative republic. Guyanese brothers and sisters, both at home and in the diaspora, Eternity Enterprise would have been saying that we are leading on a dictatorship. And as charismatic and as well spoken and with all the gifts of oratory that President Ali possesses, he cannot talk away the facts of the matter. And the facts of the matter is that in order for these appointments to be made, deep consultation should have been had with a leader of the opposition, brothers and sisters. It is unconstitutional for these decisions to be made without this consultation to be had. And you guys would have clearly heard the malarkey, the propaganda, and the dubious messages that would have been put out by President Ali, saying that certain serious constitutional decisions had to be made in making these appointments without the opposition leaders' deep consultation, which is constitutional as well.
It's the next Venezuela, man, you know what I mean? That man don't give a damn. Well, obviously, if they say that how Mohammed sanction and whatever, like I said, right now I don't even believe PPP. I can tell you the honest truth. I don't believe them. I think they're making up this whole thing with Mohammed on a real life level. I gotta be just straight, you know? I feel them making this up. But at the end of the day, I saying to myself, if Muhammad could look into himself or if it can't happen, like give somebody like the girl, you know, give the elected prime minister we would have put in, can't remember her name. But give she a chance that she could get at least, if you can't think, you know, put somebody else or because we know for a fact, even if you can't, that you could still be a mentor. So she gonna be a fire, you know what I mean? She gonna increase the fire. You know what I mean? But for you though there, and we need you or somebody from your party for there in there. I feel like it does holding up the thing, man. Like me, you know, like this thing is hot to your fucking head. I tell you the honest truth. It's hot to your head. But these man them just doing whatever they feel like. Who come to them? Is this you like?
I'm hoping that you guys are understanding that the same moves that we allow by our government, when we allow them to do these things, we make it into the new norm. This is how dictatorship begins, and this is how dictatorship matures. When each and every Guyanese, each and every citizen in that country do not know their rights and do not stand up for their rights. Now I ask you, brothers and sisters, both at home and abroad, don't you guys see that Guyana is clearly becoming a dictatorship? And here's the thing, President Ali and the PPP, they aren't good dictators, because while the president is one of the highest paid presidents in South America and in the Caribbean, his people are some of the lowest paid. They're being exploited.
Really? What mean order?
With high mammoth prices for land and exploited for every real utility in this country, and they're also being exploited for their labor. Guyanese brothers and sisters, each and every one of us has a decision and a responsibility to stand up against this dictatorship, stand up against the unconstitutional dealings of our government, because if we don't, you guys think it's worse for you today, it's terrible for you today, it's going to be worse for our children.
Yes, I stand up and wake up. Stand up and wake up, Guyana. But it is what it is, boy. Right now, Mohammedan Guyana there for now. But still, you know, I want know what's going on with the Win Party. Nobody else ain't doing nothing. Just Muhammad. We ain't hearing from nobody. We ain't seeing nobody. What really going on? I want to hear from the sister. I want to hear from the brother them. One to them. Muhammad brother, Muhammad sister, and wait name. Muhammad sister and she and the brother-in-law doing more work than the rest of them. Cause she going out there and y'all see she on the ground. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this here. So it looked like the Minister of Home Affairs finally cut some slack on the vehicle drivers. And when I say cut some slack, I know you might want to know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the tint. Now you guys know a few months in last year, 2025, whereby the issue was having too much tint, especially those persons who was putting tint in front of their vehicle. No, that's a no. Now we hear that the minister is taking a little, consideration in going so tough, because it seems like she herself realized that Guyana got too weather. There's only rain and sun, and the sun is not nothing for play with. We need the little tint, but we know overdoing it. We ban them with overdo it. We don't want that. But a lot of persons complain about the eyes and the sun, and I'm one of those persons that can't take the sun in my eye, just like this brother here. So let's listen.
We live in a tropical country, sun all the time. Now, I have a problem with my eyes, right? And these tints has really saved my eyes a day. So I'm glad that she's seeing to it and, try and deal with it and thing. But I'm against the front. Tinting your front. When the screen, I'm against it. I don't like it. Car is not safe. Not safe for drivers, especially in the nights. Daytime is the same thing. So, tint the visor, we don't have a problem with the visor car. At least when you're coming towards the sun, the visor could take off the sun out your eyes and watch. But I'm against the front, the whole front. With the screen tint, I'm against it. I don't really like it and appreciate it, but what we gonna do?
I wonder how that man is really make it with the tint and the tinting in front of them vehicle. Like I had one virgin, man carry well tinted down all the front of the vehicle. I used to say, bro, this is not safe. Youth man, I know. And seeing like them youth man don't got no time with nobody. Them man don't, when you're young and you got children, tell you, bro, you gotta live for your youth. Them can't drive, so. No man, you can't do that. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that she find it into her heart for, cut a little slack. Yeah, man, cause full stupidness when you see it come to the whole tin situation.
Mr. Ali, good morning, sir. Happy New Year. I'm forced to say Happy New Year. All the best in the New Year. Alright, I want to tell you this. I think the statement you released on the 30th of December 2025 state that there's a great misuse of social media. I don't think I have a great misuse of social media, Mr. Ali. I'll be honest with you. I believe the fact that people use social media to vent and express their opinions. You understand? Just like what I'm doing now. I'm not venting, I'm expressing my opinion upon a subject matter. You understand? So if you want people misuse the internet, like I say, people misuse the internet, stop thief state funds. Stop allow your friends them from misuse state funds. This is how I'm gonna say, my boy. Ain't nothing else I'm gonna tell you, Mr. Streamer G. Ain't nothing else I'm gonna tell you. Because you think that we old? Are we forgetful? Are we stupid? Are we depend on a level like how you depend? No, why? Some we just want to see the country progress naturally. With the people supposed to get. Me talk about getting money. Money is nothing for we. I talk about providing a better service structure for people. That foreigners now come to the country and treat their own citizens like second class citizens, my boy.
Well, the man got it right, but why trying to figure out is we mean misuse of social media. Me understand with misuse. You understand? So people can express how they feel. And you know, this will the whole world of dictatorship is coming. Because every citizens, no matter which country you're from, should have the right or have the right to vent or you know explain how they feel, especially if the country running good, if money making. From you got a government that have an issue with the people them talking their mind. Well, they show that, you know what I mean, you're real corrupt indeed. Because despite so much thing you talk about Donald Trump, people beat Donald Trump left and right on social media, call you all kind of thing. People walking, people living, nobody. You know what I mean? So why they have countries like Guyana too? And why we country have to be a country whereby we can't talk, we can't, you know what I mean, express ourselves. If things ain't going good, if money, if everything raise high, money running, you talk about it like, yeah, we know everything have to come back to the government. This is what y'all frightened, this is what y'all afraid of. This is what y'all got a problem with because all the finger gonna point back to y'all because y'all trying to paint this picture like Guyana is all bright and beautiful and all these things, and when you check it out, it's another situation. You know what I mean? Guyana all bright and beautiful for let people forward and come to the country, say I could get money. And when people come and people see really what's going on, then people saying, what? What's going on here, so bad?
Ah, mate, the litter problem here is so bad. Look at the state of it. All the waterways are like this. Just covered in plastic waste, sewage. Look down here. It's a proper mess. It's just laziness, isn't it? Pure laziness. No one really cares about where they're living. I've watched everyone throw all the litter outside of the minivan windows. No one gives a crap. It's quite sad to see, to be honest. But what can you do? All you can do is point it out, tell people how stupid they're being, and all they change. It really feels like here in this country, the waterways are just seen as bins, nothing more. Just somewhere to throw your rubbish. Corruption runs rampant here. It's clear just walking around that the government is pocketing the money, giving it to other rich people. It's not going to the people whatsoever. And it's a shame, because theoretically this country should be really well off. It shouldn't look like this.
I said theoretically. You understand? And this to show you that a lot of persons out there definitely remember internet. We're talking about social media. So every time the government them go out and talk about how much money the country making, whether it in oil, gold, and other resources, you know what I mean? A lot of persons is get hooked and say, well, we go and check and see how Guyana looking as a country that making money right now and all this kind of thing. We might not have a oil reserve, you understand? But we still got a lot of oil we be pumping. You know what I mean? We might not be the largest oil, you know what I mean, drilling continent or country in the Caribbean, but you know, we're doing things still that should have the country looking a certain way, people living a certain way, and things happening a certain way in a right way. So when a man like this could come to the country now, we expect the man to say.
I feel like this country is developing far too fast. Everything's just being thrown up. Everyone looks like a construction site. And when countries do this, it's not sustainable. Everything ends up being rubbish quality, cheap, rushed. There's no finishing touches. Everything feels really ugly and badly thought out. The only country we've ever been to before that feels like this is Nepal.
Here the country with the man called Nepal or Nepal. That was the daisy country with the people them take over and start beating the people, beating the and the government official them. Because why? They was living lavish more than the people in Nepal. Driving, living, eating, and people suffering. No, man, they ain't right. That's not right. And it's just time. I telling ya, real thing. Like I keep saying, if the government do good, we give them flowers. If them do bad, they got to get licks. And they go for everybody. It's right, man. That go for every single person. You understand? But you know it goes. Let me know in the comments section. You understand? Now you guys know the big scenario that is going on right now between Venezuela and the USA, United States of America. Now, Venezuela president has been captured, yes, by the US Navy Delta Force. You know it go already. Saturday morning at 2, going into 3 o'clock in the morning. That man definitely start out Maduro. Now, Maduro is currently in the US of A. Now, this capture has caused chaos. Not only a chaos for persons who may be supporting Maduro, but even chaos for Donald Trump, it seems. Because right now, you know what I mean, all of the countries that have been doing or have been doing business with Venezuela is definitely against this act that Donald Trump put out towards Maduro. Now, a lot of persons are saying this and that, and we got people from all around the world tipping in and tapping in on certain stuff. You understand? We got Mr. Nartin definitely acknowledge what went down, but definitely decide to share his thoughts, what he think the government of Guyana should do during these tough times when it comes to Guyanese citizens. Viewers and subscribers, let's take a listen to what Mr. Nartin has to say.
At present, Guyana finds itself in a very precarious position and needs to think and act strategically in our national interests. The APNU, in light of the recent military strikes by the United States on Venezuela, urgently advises the government of Guyana to immediately activate contingency plans for what this portends, especially the potential humanitarian and security crisis along our western border. While our position on the territorial controversy remains fixed on the ICJ process and international law, the unfolding situation demands a pragmatic and comprehensive national response to a probable immediate movement of displaced persons seeking refuge in Guyana. We therefore call on the government to establish a dedicated joint task force inclusive of the Civil Defense Commission, the Guyana Defense Force, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Human Services, and other relevant agencies and stakeholders to coordinate a national response. Designate and prepare reception areas, meaning identify and equip potential reception zones at a safe distance from our immediate border, with pre-positioned supplies of water, food, medicine, and shelter materials. This must include a vetting mechanism to minimize or avoid the infiltration and subversion of our national interests. Enhanced border monitoring and security protocols are needed. While maintaining a posture of humanitarian assistance, clearly define and reinforce security and registration protocols to manage an influx in an orderly, screened, and documented manner that safeguards Guyana's national security interests. Engage regional and international partners proactively. In this regard, the government must formally alert CARICOM, the UNHCR, and the Red Cross to the potential need for logistical and financial support, ensuring Guyana is not left to bear a disproportionate burden as a result of the influx of Venezuelans. The APNU wishes to state unequivocally that this is a moment where there must be inclusive decision making with the involvement of all stakeholders in pursuance of national unity in the face of a potential emergency. There is need for an approach that transcends partisan politics. We stand ready to lend our support to the promotion and protection of our national sovereignty and territorial integrity. We offer cooperation in developing legislative measures, mobilizing community-based support networks, and providing partisan political backing for the necessary resource allocation to protect both vulnerable people and our nation's stability. We urge swift, transparent, and decisive action. APNU sees such actions as necessary in promoting responsible sovereignty and humanitarian oversight.
Well, as you guys saw, the big man Norton, I don't know if the government did take that into consideration what Norton said he think that they should have done. Because when they really sit down and study it, right? A lot of persons left Venezuela and go different country to live because of the dictatorship of Maduro. Yes, but still, what about if something like this do happen? I mean, what about this happening and then something like the bad guys decide to run out of Venezuela now, you know, and things could escalate. So securing the border and these kind of things would be good, because it's a heck of a time right now. You know what I mean? You got to prepare for anything. And like I said, this whole situation with Maduro, we don't know how this thing going really unfold, but we know for a fact that it's not nothing. It's not nothing normal. This shit is serious, guys. You understand? It's serious. You understand? Well, leave your comments in the comment section.
What happened in Venezuela this morning? What happened in Venezuela this morning does not stay in Venezuela. Guyana will feel the first, quietly, and then economically. Hello, good morning. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, man, make we talk.
For those of us living in the Caribbean diaspora, this is not a moment for excitement. It's a moment for perspective. If leadership in Venezuela has shifted suddenly, this is bigger than one man or one government. The Caribbean knows this pattern well. When power changes abruptly, the uncertainty that follows is what shapes everything else. Guyana's position matters because of geography. When a neighboring country is unstable, the first effects are never loud. They show up at borders, in quiet movements, in old issues resurfacing. The Essequibo claim does not disappear just because leadership changes. In fact, moments of uncertainty are often when those claims get used again, not resolved. Then there is migration. The region has already lived through waves of movement caused by economic collapse and political pressure. If conditions in Venezuela weaken further, people will move. Guyana, Trinidad, and nearby states will feel it first, and the diaspora will feel it through family, remittances, and community strain. Migration is not just a local issue. It travels through networks. Oil and money come next. Any disruption in Venezuela's exports affects global prices. For Guyana, higher oil prices can mean more revenue, but they also bring more attention. When energy money increases, outside interests start paying closer attention. That is when small countries have to move carefully because pressure does not always arrive loudly. Diplomatically, the Caribbean will not speak with one voice. Some governments will emphasize sovereignty, others will focus on stability. That in its sense is normal. What matters for Guyana is restraint, calm statements, quiet coordination, no rushing to take sides. For the diaspora, the takeaway is simple. Moments like this reward discipline, not noise. The countries that do best are the ones that prepare quietly, protect their institutions, and avoid emotional reactions. In the Caribbean, composure has never been weakness. It has always been survival. Share your thoughts in the comment section.
Let me know in the comment section too. Because she got a point with what she's saying, you understand? No, it's not no time for pick side and ha ha he ho ho. You know what I mean? This shit is serious. You understand? This is very serious. You know what I mean? Real talk. But you don't know it go already. A lot of persons have seen it as a bad move. A lot of persons are saying, yo, they're happy. Especially a lot of Venezuelans are rejoicing and saying that, you know what I mean? They're happy this happened. And, you know, they're glad that Maduro definitely got captured. You know, but they got a lot of persons also upon the next hand saying to themselves, how a man like Donald Trump looking to do something like this? And fingers have been pointing at him with a lot of things too.
Now, I want to make sure I have my notes correct on this one. Shall we? We bombed Venezuela. Right. Kidnapped the president and his wife, brought them to the United States of America to press criminal charges when we have a criminal in charge? Is that what's happening?
She said I thought Trump bring them to America for press criminal charges when he's a criminal that is in charge. Yo, this is crazy.
Let me just go back. And this is about drug trafficking when we have a child trafficker in office?
What?
This can't be about drugs. When the tech bros and the bros on Wall Street have it up their nose, this can't be. Y'all don't care about drugs like that unless you're planting them in black neighborhoods. Didn't you just pardon the president of Honduras for the same thing? Is it based on the type of drugs? Is that what it is?
I tell you.
Oh my Lord, y'all. The Williams brothers said, if you take 6 months to mind your own business and 6 months to leave other folks' business alone, you got to sweep around your own front door. I don't understand. If we were doing a regime change, why nobody tell me? Why don't another country come over here and take him and his wife and his kids up out of here for us? Why are we always in somebody else's business? Oh, that's in the notes too.
No fingers being pointing at Donald Trump before he even go in office, you know what I mean? With a lot of stuff allegedly they're saying about him. So seeing he make a move like this, a lot of persons do have a problem with this situation is, you know, like I said, for most persons who haven't saw Mr. Maduro and his wife, you know what I mean, take a look.
Excuse me?
That's Maduro wife in the green hoodie. You know, coming up. So I mean, the foot got a chain. Why you acting like about Maduro? Maduro tall though. Big man, I know. See why he's so feared. Wow. Well, as you see, Maduro definitely stepping out of the vehicle in the USA. As you can see, the DEA there, the SWAT there, the FBI there, CIA, everybody there. I tell you, every single body is there right now. You know what I mean? And it's crazy to see the Maduro never got a boots on. A man treat Maduro sad. No, no, as Maduro has been captured, definitely Mr. Donald Trump had a press conference the next day about the whole situation with Maduro being captured and what he's gonna do from what he's not gonna do. And this what he said in the press conference right now have a whole uproar definitely around the world. Viewers and subscribers, let's take a listen to what Trump has to say.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious.
So I'm asking myself, it's so warlord days go. If political if the political game sad and dangerous, but like world are the most sad and dangerous. Because I was watching a video day before yesterday with a fellow you was saying that, oh, you know what I mean? After the World War II, you understand, they come to a conclusion whereby the World War II, them had this thing called allies. So after the World War II, you know what I mean, certain countries, and we're talking about the eagle, dragon, and the bear, them man say, yo, listen, we can't got this guy now no more. So them end up implicating these things called nuclear weapon. These bombs, them, these massive destruction could take out a whole nation and could mash up the world, the planet. You understand? Now, Donald Trump saying he can control and take over Venezuela is kind of strange. This is why I want to know if there's how the world are, this going mark or us go in your country, where is it? Which in the same document they say back in the days when World War or before World War, sorry, what would happen is that big nations, like big country like America and those kind of thing, if they got a small nation like Guyana and like how Guyana find island them thing, these huge nations could come kick down your door, take you isle, take you people if they want. This what used to happen back in the days. So persons are saying that Trump is actually upholding the same thing back in the days, like during due to Venezuela being not so strong in military. Cause check it. The countries them that America did these things to, you know what I mean? But check it to the eagle, the dragon, and the bear. There's Russia, China. We know America is the eagle. But certain power country, America won't go and touch. So like this is how it's set. From your small, this how this how it go, but it rough to know that he said that he's gonna control the country. And we know for a fact that it's just Maduro. You get one to the military. Them man said them ready to put down a war. He said that he ain't striking the boots on the ground. So they got a second strike that for take place for he control Venezuela. This part now gonna be a serious piece of settings, cause You know what I mean? The general for Venezuela army don't come out and say, yo, this ain't going down like that. So, you know what I mean? I just hope that this shit don't escalate too crazy. But a lot of persons don't think you want peace, tranquility in these things. Them think is the aisle you going for, Mr. Trump? I don't know.
People.
Next thing too. Mm-hmm.
Can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it essentially.
Well, you made a good design. You know what I mean? Yeah, you made sense there because for know that Venezuela is the largest, you know what I mean, oil reserve country with the largest. But still, you got people who balling. It's like Guyana. With all the oil we getting and we 50-something% people are under poverty. Says it like the same thing. For you be the largest country with the oil reserve and you still got people balling, people running out to your country. You know what I mean? Real thing. So, you know what I mean? Although Trump must be seeing, Trump must be saying, you know something, this banner ain't saying that for nothing. You know what I mean? But still, certain people still got a problem. Certain people still see it as not something good.
The U.S. military has attacked Venezuela, kidnapped its president, Nicolas Maduro, and flown him and his wife out of the country. Here are 4 things you need to know. Number 1, this is an act of war. Under the U.S. Constitution, only Congress can declare war, not the president. Number 2, this was never about drugs. Since September, at least 115 civilians have been killed in Trump's boat strikes in the Caribbean and Pacific. Yet Trump recently pardoned Juan Orlando Hernandez, the former president of Honduras, who was convicted in court of trafficking hundreds of tons of cocaine into the United States. Number 3, this was never about democracy. Yes, Maduro is a dictator, but Trump embraced other dictators, praising Vladimir Putin, exchanging love letters with Kim Jong-un, and even hosting Saudi Arabia's crown prince after U.S. intelligence said he approved the murder of a Washington Post journalist. Here in Brazil, Trump even pressured courts to protect former President Bolsonaro after a January 6th-style insurrection. But Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserves, and Trump has openly said he wants the oil. Number 4, this sets a dangerous precedent. If U.S. presidents can, quote, capture foreign presidents they don't like and release the ones they do like, we don't have a democracy ourselves. What comes next for Venezuela, we don't know. When the U.S. pushed regime change in Iraq and Afghanistan, it led to decades of chaos and instability. But the final irony is this. Just last year, one U.S. government official said this about our foreign policy. If somebody sells drugs in another country, that doesn't mean you arrest the president and put him in jail for the rest of his life. That government official was Donald Trump.
It is what it is. At the end of the day, this game is a serious piece of game. And you got to get ready. Because I heard that Maduro and all was, you know what I mean, he was telling Trump that, oh, yo, if you feel your bad, come for me. If you feel your bad, come. You understand? Now, Trump and his administration say that, oh, they warned Maduro, tell him that, oh, yo, beat out. You know what I mean? Go and live somewhere else, wherever is it, but, you know what I mean? People bawling, people crying, and all these kind of things. So, it's either beat out or we gonna come for you. The funny thing is, a lot of persons that the United States have ever went for end up dying. So, you know, for know that Maduro was alive, it's good to see that he's alive. You understand? But here comes again, what do you think about this capture of Maduro?
I'm telling you now, we need to think a lot more logically with this one, guys. Now, stick with me,
because this situation that's happening in Venezuela, it sounds very familiar to me. You see, we're being told that Venezuela is the problem, aren't we? Drugs, terrorism, criminal leadership. That's the headline that we're being fed. But here's the fact that nobody can argue with. Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the entire world, right? Number one, over 300 billion barrels, even more than Saudi Arabia. So, you know, the richest oil country on earth right now just so happens to be the next world terror threat. Now listen, I'm not saying that it's about oil, but I'm just saying that it's never irrelevant, right? Because when you zoom out of this situation, this story starts sounding very familiar. You know, let's rewind back to 2003. Do we remember this guy? Back when there was a situation in Iraq, you know, when Iraq was one of the richest oil nations in the world. It had massive reserves and a strategic location. And what were we told about this guy right here, Saddam Hussein? It was about weapons of mass destruction, right? Terrorism, an urgent worldwide threat. That story led to the invasion of Iraq, and then they captured Saddam Hussein, right? He was literally executed, and what happened after, right? There was no weapons of mass destruction that was ever found in Iraq. Now listen, I'm not saying that Venezuela is Iraq, because, you know, times change and excuses change and the languages change, but the pattern is always the same.
Yep.
Ultimately, you know, a resource-rich country is labeled as danger. You know, the sanctions don't work, the pressure builds, then the force is sort of justified, and later we're told, you know, oops, we got it all wrong. So when people are, you know, thinking that this might have some sort of inner story or sound a little bit familiar, it's because history doesn't repeat. It literally rhymes. But yeah, of course, as always, this was all just for entertainment. Clearly, it's just a coincidence that Venezuela is the richest oil-reserved country in the entire world by a massive difference. And I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
You making joke with the aisle? The gaffer got aisle, boy. We ain't talking about baby aisle. Talking about real aisle. Aisle down. The aisle thing tough. The aisle thing tough. But when you think persons around the Caribbean or around the world have an issue with this move or this step that Donald Trump took, people in America, yeah, right in America, yeah, so got a problem with it.
Donald Trump has once again shown his contempt for the Constitution and the rule of law. Let's be clear. The President of the United States does not have the right to unilaterally take this country into war, even against a corrupt and brutal dictator like Maduro. The United States does not have the right, as Trump stated this morning, to run Venezuela. Congress must immediately pass a war powers resolution to end this illegal military operation and reassert its constitutional responsibilities. Trump's attack on Venezuela will not make the United States and the world safer. Quite the contrary. This brazen violation of international law gives a green light to any country on earth that may wish to attack another nation to seize their resources or change their governments. This is the horrific logic of force that Putin used to justify his brutal attack on Ukraine. Trump and his administration have made it clear that they want to revive the Monroe Doctrine, a belief that claims that the United States has the right to dominate the affairs of the hemisphere. They have spoken openly about controlling Venezuela's oil reserves, the largest in the world. Let's make no mistake about it. This is rank imperialism. It recalls the darkest chapters of U.S. interventions in Latin America, which have left a terrible legacy. It will and should be condemned by the democratic world.
Well, as you heard it there, you understand a lot of persons saying that, oh, yo, Trump is basically trying to start a world war. You know me, because we see whereby China just a few weeks ago, or should we say a month, made a deal with Venezuela, whereby they signed a contract. A private Chinese firm invest 1 billion to pump 60,000. You see it, man? Barrel of oil from Venezuela. So China already passed them money 1 billion. A lot of person already done business with Venezuela with this oil thing, and these same persons are saying, yo, bro, Trump way really there from, bro. So me money gone down the drain. Cause if I just pay 1 billion, then you gonna run the place. Then I can go for buy back, and you don't say you're selling. So what? No? This is trouble. This is trouble. Now we got the man, the big man himself, Esau Farrakhan, speak upon the whole Venezuelan America situation. Let me tap in for Mr. Farrakhan. And here we guys say,
I know America's going to war. But it's a war, President Trump, that you can't win. I know you say you got a lot of juice, $750 billion you're giving to the army, but you're only giving them that which is going to get more of them killed. Let me help you to see. You can win, but you can't win being a thug.
Farrakhan called you a thug.
You're trying to take Maduro out of office and get control of the largest oil reserve in the world. What kind of president calls somebody in the house of another Guaido and tells him, you can be the next president?
I tell you.
But Maduro was voted in. You say, well, it wasn't a free and fair election. Do you remember Jimmy Carter? He'd been watching elections, over 104 of them. And he said, I'm quoting the former president, he said that the voting in Venezuela is some of the best that he has seen in 104 countries where he has looked at elections. Now, I don't know the truth, but I think Jimmy Carter has no reason to lie on Maduro. But you see, when you're a hustler, when you're a thief, when you want to take the oil, remember how the president, when he was running, he said, let's take the oil in Iraq. Take it. See, but your hands will get chopped off today because you're not the power that you think you are. There's a new sheriff in town. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the two that back me. Now look, I think, Mr. President, you would be wise to leave President Maduro alone. Mr. Bolton, the man with the mustache. He's in a press conference with his sheep, and he's talking about sending 5,000 troops to Colombia, but he don't know that he got the notes so that the media could take a picture of it. Now they're trying to overthrow this man, even if it means sending us to war. I respectfully say to the president, I cannot back you if you're going to send American soldiers to war to die because you want that man out of power and you're meddling in the affairs of his country. I don't think no young soldier should go. Just say, hell no. I won't go.
I won't go.
And adopt the Muslim position. We do not believe that we who declared ourselves to be righteous Muslims should be engaged in wars which take the lives of human beings, especially when we have nothing to gain from it. Unless you give us the necessary territory wherein we'll have something to fight for. But to go and spend our lives so you can use their oil and ruin their country? You got over the banking system. You are telling the banks the man got gold in England. He's asking for them to send some of his gold back so that he can turn that gold to feed his people.
Well, I say, I'll hear Mr. Farrakhan speaking about the whole situation with Trump and Maduro. And, you know what I mean? A lot of persons seeing it as wrong, you know what I mean? Despite whatever. And indeed, you know, mommy always say, speak when you're spoken to, answer when you call, you know what I mean? I feel like if people want your help for you deal with certain things, if they're going through certain crises and they look forward for you to help them, and we're speaking about the United States of America, it's okay. You know what I mean? But if you have your own ulterior motive, if it's because Donald Trump said that Venezuela stole oil from them, that's why he's taking this oil back. Now, listening to the video, the documentary video that I was listening to, the fellas that America helped build Venezuela oil reserve back in the 60s, 1960s, 1970s. America helped Venezuela build the reserves. And then something ended up going to happen and Venezuela kicked them out of the old scene. Because it was to be a deal. After building these reserves for them, it was to be a deal. But it looked like whoever was in power, otherwise the people them will like President Trump or like America, the ones them who don't like America say, yo, here we go, I can't get no money here, so. You know what I mean? I gotta make a heights. So Donald Trump stating that, yeah, you know, these one of them rob we, so we gotta take these one of them out. We in depth on them thing. But y'all leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what's your thoughts on this. Anyway, this is probably gonna pull the curtains down. It was a pleasure being here with you guys. Like I said, if you watch the video so far, feel free to give the video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, put your post notification bell on. Let me know what's up. Do you think this is a good move Trump make or it's a bad move? Leave it in the comment section. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed. Out.